Welcome. My name is Paula Brennan, and I want to say a big thank you to you today for joining me on the business of personal brand photography. If you haven't been here before, this is for professional photographers who are interested in learning about the business aspects of running a personal brand photography business. But if you're from the portrait and wedding world, or even just a newbie to photography, I want to say welcome to you too. I'm so delighted to have you here. And this is a really special episode for me because it's something that I've been mulling over in my mind for a while. And I was figuring out how I would just share my pure joy about this particular subject matter. And it was so interesting to me when I was kind of digging a little bit deeper on it, because I realized that what I'm doing now in my business is something that I've actually been doing for quite a while that operates really successfully for us. It's a product that we offer, a kind of a mini shoot day. And that means that we're taking care of a lot of the organization for the clients. You know, we're doing the same thing. We're opening up slots where they can come in. But it means that there's so many benefits to not only us, but also to our clients as well. And so today what I wanted to do is I wanted to share with you why I love mini branding days so much and how you can make them work and integrate them into your business right now. So let's get started, shall we? So the first reason why I absolutely love to offer mini branding photo shoots for my clients is that it's a really easy entry point for them to start working with me. Now, if you're trying to sell these massive, huge branding shoot days where you might be working with clients for half day or a full day, which we do offer, oftentimes some people can be a little bit reluctant to doing such a large spend and making such a large commitment with you if they're not necessarily confident maybe in themselves, or they're not feeling great about jumping in front of the camera, or maybe they just, not even sort of confident that they need branding photos and they don't understand the power of them yet. So by offering these mini sessions, it's a really, really great gateway for people to start working with you, because oftentimes it's definitely going to be a lower ticket price option. But again, there's a lot less organization for them to do. So it makes it sort of like an easier way for them to be able to say yes to working with you. Now, the second reason why I absolutely love to offer mini sessions is because I find that they're maybe a little bit easier internally for me and my team to manage. Now, let me tell you why this is. The first thing is that we have automated systems set up within our business. So that means that the emails, when a client books, the emails automatically start going out and it takes care of all of their needs automatically, right? So I know that that's taken care of. I also find that the necessity for the clients to sort of have personal one-on-one time with me before the photo shoot is negated. With our mini shoots, we don't offer any kind of like private or personal consultations. And so that means that I don't necessarily need to step in with the clients beforehand. Now, of course, I do as a matter of courtesy, but it means that I don't necessarily, they're not getting promised anything like that. So I'm not having to go and do lots of planning and preparation and sourcing of locations, because it's all done for a bunch of clients in one hit. And I find that for me, not having to manage all of that planning and sort of that prepping stuff for me, it's actually a lot easier for us internally, because I'm going to be honest with you, I can be the cog in the wheel that lets everything down. If there's too many things left up to me to do personally, then sometimes I can slow everything down. So being able to sort of hand it over to my team, be able to hand it over to my automated email sequence, it means that I don't necessarily need to be too far involved in every single step of the journey with the client. And yeah, for me, that just makes things a whole lot easier. And as I said, contracts, invoices, everything like that is really mostly handled, and I'm going to be honest with you, by automations. So it's fantastic once you can set this up and let that happen for you, because it means that you can go on with being creative, you can go on with doing all the other things in your business. And yeah, so for me, I find these a lot easier to handle internally than the larger shoots that we do, sort of like those solo or those boutique experiences 101. Now, the third reason why I love doing mini shoot days is I find a lot of the time, and a lot of people might disagree with me, but I find that these are actually easier shoot days to do oftentimes than doing one person in a day. And let me tell you why. When you're doing a mini shoot day, most of the time, if you're smart and you've set it up well, you're just going to be shooting at one location. So, be it at a studio, or perhaps it's at a home or an Airbnb, or at your own venue that you've done, or I know some people do them at cafes. If you do mini shoots in one place, it means you've just got one setup on the day. You just walk in, might set up your lighting, you might set up your team, or you might set up a dressing room of sorts, and that's it. You just can walk in and it's one set, and you just don't need to move around. So you don't have to deal with things like parking at different locations. You don't have to deal with going and sourcing locations, as said beforehand, but on the day, dealing with that. Because sometimes in your head, you can plan a location, but when you get there, there might be like a building site that wasn't there 2 days ago, or roadworks or something like that. And all of that can be a little bit stressful on the day. Of course, as well, is if you're doing your shoots indoors, you don't have to worry about weather. You can put the aircon on, you can stick the heating on. All of these benefits are amazing when you live in a climate like mine, where for effectively like 5 months of the year, everybody is walking around and sweaty. So if you live in either extremes, if you live in a place that's got extreme cold or extreme heat, being able to essentially control the environment from a temperature perspective, and of course from not having to worry about things like rain or wind or things like that, it can be an incredibly stress-free experience for you. And so I think managing on the shoot day, even though you are managing more people, not having to manage those outside things that you can't control is definitely a major win, a major plus for me, and another reason why I opt and love to do these mini shoot days. Now, the fourth reason I'm going to tell you why I love these days, and this varies from people to people, but I find that these sorts of days really feed my soul because they allow me to connect with people on a different level. And let me tell you what this looks like. Of course, when you're dealing with one person on a shoot day, or even a team of just a couple of people, you're going to be able to get really down and get really deep and granular and really kind of like, connect with people on a very deep level. But what I love about mini shoot days is that there's kind of like this cross connection that can happen between clients that are arriving and leaving, or overlapping on each other's photo shoots. We always have makeup and hair team on our days. And so there's kind of like a little bit of a bonding that can happen. So as much as I get to obviously a little, maybe slight little bit of a less connection with the clients individually, I find that there's kind of like this collective kind of vibe that goes on that I just love. I'm kind of like a natural networky kind of person. I love making connections. I'm a big evangelist for other people. And so I love when I can sort of like, connect businesses and connect women that I know that have very similar interests, or maybe even can work together and that kind of thing. So this kind of like feeds my soul. I find as well that it feeds my soul creatively as well, because it not only means that I am trying to reinvent the same sort of space for people, but there's a lot of variety that can happen on these sorts of shoot days too. So even though you will kind of want to create sort of like a go-to shot list that you do just in case you sort of, maybe run out of ideas, and you make sure you sort of tick that off, there is plenty of room on these days to allow that individual to sort of spark your creativity as they're coming in, because everybody's needs are different. Everybody has different marketing purposes for their images. Everybody brings different clothing into the space. They bring a different vibe and a different energy, of course. They bring their personality. And so I find that buzz-wise, it really kind of lights me up creatively to be able to sort of like, just really push myself as well, and challenge myself to kind of keep coming up with different ideas. Now, the fifth reason, and maybe from a business perspective, this is one of my favorite reasons why I love running mini shoot days, is that they are incredibly financially beneficial for my business. Now, let me talk to you in terms of an ROI. Okay, so when I go out on a photo shoot day for one person, my ROI is kind of like a little bit capped. So my return on my investment, for me, my investment is my time in this scenario. So my effective hourly rate is probably a little bit more sort of compacted if I'm going out to shoot for one person. Whereas if I'm going out to photograph for 6 to maybe 8 people in a photo shoot day, each of them individual buyers, it means that collectively as a day, that the profit and the profitability of that day is maximized to the max. Like, right, it's really high up there. Now, I do find that for me personally, I'm very comfortable at shooting 6 people in a shoot day. Sometimes I have moved up to doing 8 different shoots in a shoot day, just depending on the needs of the client. But that's kind of my happy space. Now, I do know of some people that can shoot, they'll do their photo shoots on every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes. I've seen that. That doesn't really work for my business model because I prefer to be able to have a little bit more quality time with people. But if you're doing this, I know that it is a very viable option for your business. And so maybe it is something for you to think about depending on the locations that you're going to. Me personally, I like to spend about an hour with my clients. Some of them it's around half an hour, 40 minutes if we get their needs knocked out of the park quickly. But I do allow an hour for my shoots so that then I can create quite a vast collection for my clients. But what I'm going to tell you is in that time I can shoot up to 60 quality different images, right? And so depending on the number of images that you include at the forefront of the package, there's a capacity to be able to sell quite a lot of images depending on how you shoot afterwards, right? So can be very financially rewarding. The best part as well is that you're getting people to pay up front. So when you're doing that upfront payment model, you're making sure before you even start the week, before you even start the shoot day, that you are definitely in profit before you start. So that's always a great thing for me to know, is that there's a definite financial reward. I've already been paid before I go. But understanding and knowing that there's the capacity to be able to sell afterwards, that's an even bigger plus for me. And that's why I've loved integrating this model into my business over different courses. And as you heard at the start of the episode, over different genres that I've done. But definitely right now in personal branding, it is a highly profitable way to run my business. Some days we yield over $12,000 in the day, and I've been known to do more. I'm not going to sort of sit here and spruik numbers because I'm not here to brag, but I want to open your mind to the possibility of what you can do on one of these days, because the options are kind of endless. Well, not endless, but there's a lot of room for you to be able to do very well, and do very comfortably on a day like this. And I could keep going on for ages, but for the sake of this podcast, I needed to cap it to like 6 points. And so the last reason why I love to offer branding sessions to my clients is it makes it easy for clients to come again and again. If you offer this sort of product, it means that your clients can keep coming back if you offer this. Now, if you're doing different locations, you might do it in different locations every month or 2 months, however often you want to offer them. It means that you've got a different sort of offer or a different experience to be able to offer your clients. And so if they just need to come back and get top-ups, this is a great way to keep re-engaging them, to keep pushing these sort of shoots in front of them. We have so many clients that come back once or twice a year on these sorts of shoots because it just fills their needs. It fills their buckets. It tips over the whatever content they need. It makes it easy for them to get that sorted in an inexpensive way, but also in a way that doesn't take up too much time or energy from them because it's all organized for them, right? So it makes it super easy again for them to say yes, but it makes it super easy for them to just show up and get it done, all right? So there's one thing getting people to say yes to working with you, but it's another thing to just make it even easier for them to have that experience of working with you so they don't have to keep coming up with ideas and doing all of that. You have it sorted. Tick, it's all done for them. They get to walk in, have a really beautiful photo shoot at a venue that you've chosen because you trust that it's an amazing shoot experience for them. It's going to tick all their boxes, make it easy for you to create a great variety of images. And then both of you have been served very well, right? You've served your client very well, and they're going to keep coming back to you. They'll keep serving you as a customer. So I think it's a win-win when you're offering these for both you and your client, because as I said, it makes it easy for them to become a subscription style client, keep coming back, and it means that your business can really sort of profit and do well because you know that you've got that recurring income coming in. Now, what I will say about the whole mini shoot experience is that it does take a little bit of setup beforehand. Of course, you need to source locations, you need to sort of work out a shoot schedule, you need to figure out how many clients you can fit in and then make a calendar booking system that they can book into. You need to have a great sales page to be able to sell them on, and you need to have some sort of marketing machine to be able to fill these days. Okay. Then, of course, you're going to need to have like sort of a system set up for how you're going to operate the day, and then a great workflow to be able to get people to upgrade afterwards. So there are a few components that come into putting this together. But can you imagine how good it would feel if you can just rinse and repeat this each month in your business, and you can sort of, get on with the business? You don't have to set it up each time. You just have to rinse and repeat it, and then kind of make it easy, and then just work on the marketing to fill that one day of the month. And let me tell you how good it feels to be able to pack the car once a month for a day like this and not have to be running around after lots of different clients on different days. It means that you can concentrate all of your time and your energy into filling one shoot day like this a month. And then you can go on and have other products and other offers, of course. But you know that you have this one day that you can offer, and that it's going to be hugely profitable for your business, immensely profitable, I will say, for your business. So can you imagine how good that would feel? Well, guys, I'm so excited because I have decided, as part of the live training that I'm going to be doing going forward, to offer a done with you setup of a campaign like this for you in your business. So what does this look like? Well, I know from all of my years of doing courses online, right? I know that I've bought so many courses and they've sat in my hard drive and they never get done and they never get looked at. So in order to make it easy for you to actually get this set up in your business, I'm offering a 6-week live training workshop with me. Okay. So what does this look like? It means I am going to give you all of the tools. We're talking email templates, sales pages, marketing campaigns, all of it ready for you to go and plug and play into your business. But I'm taking it one step further. I'm going to walk through this training with you so that you actually get it done. What does it mean? It means you need to show up for a couple of hours live each week, but it means that every single week you're going to be moving forward to actually getting this launched. And then in the 5th week, we're going to launch it. And I'm going to be walking with you hand in hand so that you can actually make sure that this gets done. Now, why am I not doing all of this training over the course of, say, a week or 2 weeks? Well, I think that with everybody's busy schedules, I think that that's just like too crazy, right? Unless you've got like no kids and no commitments, it's very hard for you to take the time to be able to set up something like this. And I know too that as photographers, we're real perfectionists. So I'm giving you time within each week to go and do things like fill your folio if it needs to be done, or perfect a little bit more that sales page that you've created. You might want to go back and dot some I's and cross some T's, or you might want to spend a little bit more time doing a little bit more social media than what I'm getting you to do to get it launched. So there's going to be time in those weeks for you to actually get that done. But don't worry, I'm going to be there to hold your hand, okay? As part of this live training, we're going to have a little community so that we can all kind of encourage each other to get things done. You'll get to sort of meet other people on the Zoom calls that are doing the same things as you. You're going to get to ask me questions live and have me looking over and helping you to troubleshoot as you go along. After I did this live pricing workshop that I did a few weeks ago, I realized that it's really the live element that I love, and it's the live element where I know that I can help you to actually get results. And so that's why I want to do it like this time. Okie dokie. So if you are already a member in my community, you're going to get access to this training as part of the membership. So don't worry, you don't need to think anymore. That's going to be happening for you. You've already probably got an email about it. But if you haven't already joined into my membership, why not? I am giving so much value inside of there and sharing all of my tips inside of my business. However, you can purchase this as a one-time only if you like, and just join me just to set this up in your business as well. So I'm going to be dropping a link to this training inside of this podcast notes. However, you can go to paulabrennaneducation.com/mini. Okay. If you want to join in live, we're going to be kickstarting from the time of this podcast release. It's going to be about 8 days away. So if you're listening to it when we first drop it, then you'll get it. Now, if you don't manage to get in on the live training straight away, don't worry. You will be able to watch the replays and play catch-ups as well. So if you're listening to this a month or 2 months down the track, don't worry. You will be able to catch up on that too. But I am really passionate about mini shoots. I think you can hear it in my voice. because I know it can be a massive game changer for you in your business. And so if it's something that you want to implement, I'd love to be able to help you to do it, because I've taken all of the hard work out of it for you. It's already done. Already done all of the emails. I've already done all of the scripts. I've already done everything. You just need to plug it into your existing system and let it roll for you. And as I said, once it's set up, you get to just rinse and repeat every week, month, quarterly, whatever you want to do in your business. So I think it's a really good system to walk through and set up in your business, because it will keep paying you forward as you go on for years to come, as it has in mine. All right, well, I am through doing the sales pitch on the mini session. Sorry if I've overtaken this podcast episode today, but this is something that I'm, as I said, super passionate about, and I want to share it and shout it from the hilltops, because, yeah, as I said, live training, talking into a microphone is great, but being able to like help you and hold your hand and really support you in a much more intimate way is really where I want to be able to support you more too. All right, my dear, if you have loved listening to this episode, I would love you to maybe share it. It would be great for other photographers who you know to be able to hear what I'm teaching, because I know it's good quality. And I know that so many of you are getting so much out of it, because I'm getting lots of DMs. So for those of you who have given me some feedback, thank you so much. I love seeing your feedback in the DMs. And if you haven't already, say hi, jump in and say hi. I'm very friendly. Someone wrote to me this week and said, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm talking to a celebrity, and I kind of got a bit funny and a bit wigged out. I don't consider myself anything like that. I'm just a normal photographer like you, who's maybe just a few steps along in the journey and loves to share what she's learned. So so don't be afraid to jump into the DMs and say hi. All right, well, I look forward to catching you on next week's episode, and hopefully I might see you in that live training too.
When you're so salty, I'll still think about it.
We can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show.